Julio Rodriguez is the best hitter on the team since the All-Star break. Well, yesterday it was probably 10.5. After a day of reflection, calmed down a bit. Look, 5, probably middle of the pack. I mean, basically every pitcher took a turn face planting out there. And it was just kind of, everybody took turns not doing their job, whether you're talking about the starter, whether you're talking about the offense, whether you're talking about some sloppy defense, whether you're talking about relief pitching. Everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. You go 2-7 on a road trip. Yeah, you're facing some good teams, specifically in the Phillies, but you face struggling teams in the Orioles and the Mets, and they owned you. So it's baseball. You know, you chalk it up to the vagaries of baseball, but you know, look, man, we're in the home stretch now. You got, what, 34 games to go? That's part of the beauty of the season is every game means the world right now. And I love that aspect of it. I don't love that they can't find a way to turn this thing around when the Houston Astros are opening the door and saying, walk on in. Here it is. The division is right there and nobody wants it. In the last 10 games, the Mariners are 3-7. The Astros are 4-6. The Angels are 5-5. The Rangers are 2-8 going into yesterday's action. So nobody wants the division. It's right there to be had. And it's more frustration than concern, I would say, because, look, I think we know there's a lot of talent on this roster. They're just not playing up to it, at least not on this road trip. I thought Miller looked good. I was more concerned with, how does the velocity look? How does it look in the third inning, in the fourth inning, in the fifth inning, and, as deep as he went. So the velocity was there. The movement on the pitches was there. He wasn't as sharp as you'd want him to be. Certainly, he certainly didn't go out there and dominate. 5 innings, 4 runs. It's not horrible. It's his first start. So expectations were low. Biggest concern for me, or biggest interest, was just looking at his velocity, and more importantly, how did he come out of it? Did he feel like, hey, I'm back to normal. I feel great. I can do my throwing on the side. Now my routine is back to normal. And by all accounts, it is. So I expect certainly better than that in his next start. The disparity between home and away is really odd. You expect it. Look, they play 81 games in a pitcher's park. So you got 81 on the road, where sometimes you're in a pitcher's park, sometimes you're in a bandbox, and it's a hitter's park. So your ERA and success rate is gonna be a little different. It's not gonna be 3 at home, 3 ERA on the road. It's going to be a variation. But what you're seeing is really extreme numbers between somebody like Logan Gilbert, who's got a 2.22 ERA at T-Mobile Park. He's got a 6 ERA on the road. Now that last start where he only went 2 innings is going to skew that, but you're seeing it with Luis Castillo. You see it with Logan. You see it with Kirby. Oddly enough, the only guy that didn't have a uptick in ERA from home to road was Emerson Hancock. I went and looked at everybody's numbers. He was actually better on the road than he was at home. He was the outlier. Everybody else, to varying degrees, have a higher ERA on the road, but the problem is how extreme it is with some of these guys. Wasn't aware they were doing that. I was surprised like everybody else. By all accounts, he looked great. And I think for his part, look, he's looking at a rotation. Right now, he's not going to crack. If everybody's healthy, he's going to be down in AAA. So I'm assuming he's at peace with this and is embracing the idea of I can come up to the big leagues and help the big club with a march towards the playoffs. And if that means I've got to come out of the bullpen and be long relief or, whatever role, I don't know what role they've got in mind for him, but I like it. We've seen him be successful at this level. Now, the mentality is completely different. The preparation is completely different. We'll see how he does, but hey, dipping his toe in the water first time last night, looks like it went well. The rotation is decidedly better than what we saw on the road. We all know that. We saw a full season of it last year. We saw 31 starts out of Bryce Miller last year with a sub-3 ERA. We saw Brian Wu with a sub-3 ERA last year. Luis Castillo is better than what he's been his last 2 starts. Same with Logan Gilbert. He was your opening day starter, went 7 innings, led the league in innings pitched last year, was an all-star. All of these guys have shown you they're better than what they put out there recently, so I think they're going to trend back to what they've been. And you've got a couple of guys that we've been counting on or hoping for in the way of them getting hot. Julio Rodriguez is the best hitter on the team since the All-Star break. He's hitting well over 300 in the month of August. You're seeing the power numbers go up. So he's having his kind of typical second half surge, if you will, in terms of power and slug. Gino Suarez, the other guy we've been waiting for. He got off to a slow start after they acquired him. Look at his game logs. He's the guy who's starting to find it, and he's going to be huge for this offense. So that evens things out as other guys maybe cool off a bit. Polanco is really cool off. So you've got other guys stepping up. So yeah, I think the pitching is going to get back to something that we are used to seeing in a good way. And your offense, that lineup is getting longer. And you got guys that we've been sort of going, all right, when do we get this going? They're going. You got to go 4-2, at least. You can't split the homestand. You've got to come out of it with a winning record. You've got to be able to, get this ship righted, because it was such a disastrous road trip. Losing is one thing. Going out there and just getting dog walked the way you did by the Philadelphia Phillies. I mean, you had 2 games where you gave up 20 plus hits. It's just absurd, and you were in double-digit strikeouts. I mean, it was awful. So you've got to correct, and you've got the opportunity to do it against a team that's got nothing to play for in the A's. You've got to win both these series. In my opinion, you've got to come out of a 6-game series at home. You've got to come out with at least 4 wins, hopefully better. But Houston's right there giving you, again, they're opening the door for you. Just step on through.